Emma, the information in this video is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Hi everyone, this is Julie. Thank you for stopping by to share with me today. I hope you're having a fantabulous day today. And in this video, I'll be playing an excerpt of Dr. Sebi responding to a question about asthma, because we know many people have asthma, or you probably even have it or know someone who does. So let's hear what Dr. Sebi had to say.
Right here. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know how long the cleaning process takes. I have asthma.
When I was an asthmatic for 28, 29 years, Miss Mildred Jones that just spoke about, Miss Mildred Jones, she had a machine. She was worse than you. And in a half an hour or 50 minutes, she took the machine out her nose. But I want to say this. That have to be very, very carefully understood. I had two people that died after they came to see me at the Usha family last year, or this year. Young woman too with asthma. She came and she took the compound and she was feeling very good, but she didn't come back because asthmatic people does that. I did it too. Once that wheezing stops and that breathing becomes good, we don't want to take the substance anymore. No. The mucus is in the head. Like I said, every one of us have a tumor. And it breaks down. And you find that you're swallowing. Many of you felt that you're swallowing mucus sometimes, draining down your ear. You know? It's coming down from this big head. You know, that she's in a cow. This lady, this young sister, told me that she was only eating the food that I recommended. And in the selection of these foods, broccoli was one. As a steam engineer, I learned to understand chemicals. I'm a steam engineer. I learned that not by going to school for it, because you heard me say I didn't go to school. I learned it on the ship. I was a wiper, which is a janitor. I wiped myself to a fireman and water tender, to a junior engineer, to an engineer, on the job training. So while on the ship, it was my duty at one point in my journey as an engineer to scavenge the oxygen out of the boilers. That's the first thing a steam engineer has to learn to do. To put sulfite in the feed water, that it would go in the tubes of the boiler and scavenge out all the oxygen. If there's any degree of oxygen over and above, just, I would say, oxygen in contents would be like only 1/10 of 1% of the water, because oxygen would cause pitting in the tubes, erosion. So you put sulfite in the water and it removes oxygen from that water, and now you would never have to suffer pitting in the tubes. But when I would open that barrel, I had to open the barrel and stand away. If I stand over the barrel when I open it, that's how fast it would react. So what are they spraying the vegetables with now to make it look young? I mean fresh? And this lady has asthma. And she comes to me. She begins to feel good. But I recommend that she eat only green things, and she chooses the broccoli. And when she eats the broccoli, now she called me about 1 hour before that. This happened to me. It's dangerous out there. It's very dangerous.
So there you have it. And Dr. Sebi noted that it's mucus in the head. So we have to address that. And maybe you have heard a video before where Dr. Sebi spoke about how you can use the civil orange, for example, and put it, squeeze it into the head to just begin to break down that mucus in the head. The civil orange, he mentioned that. And we know other herbs that you may want to use. Well, herbs I should say that you may want to use, or like the elderflower, that's some one to consider. The ribwort, the mullein, these are some herbs you can use. You can of course use a herb to make a compress on the head, at the top of the head. You can also of course drink the herbal tea. You can also do steams whereby you make a herbal tea, or you had, for example, some eucalyptus essential oil to water, and you can let that, just let that go into you. And of course you would put your head over the hot water with a towel over it. And you can see examples on YouTube, for example, how they do the steams. So that is something that you may want to consider. It may be easier to just do the steams and also to drink the tea, the herbal teas. And of course, Dr. Sebi also noted that the cheese, you have to be careful about the cheese, any dairy, any cheese or milk. These are highly mucus forming. And so anybody who's dealing with any kind of condition affecting the respiratory system, you don't want to be having those. As a matter of fact, you don't want to be having those in general, but especially when you're dealing with those health conditions, they can further exacerbate the problem. And of course, you want to ensure that you're not dehydrated, so you can drink your herbal teas, drink water. Some medications actually help to thicken mucus, so you have to be mindful if you're taking any medication, and of course know the effects of those, because they can actually make the problem worse. And as he noted, he recommended leafy greens, and you can check Dr. Sebi's nutritional guide. I'll have a link below for the leafy greens that he recommends. But of course, we know that there are some that may not be on the list, but those are the ones on the list are the ones that he recommends. But as he noted in this instant, on the list that he had recommended in the patient that he referenced, there was broccoli, and broccoli has sulfites. So that is something, I think that's the reason he removed it from the list, because it used to be on the recommended list. And of course, note that they also spray some leafy greens, especially if you're not getting organic, chances are they are sprayed. And so you have to be careful, because as he noted, they're sprayed, they'll have sulfide in them, and that of course is a scavenger of oxygen. And so you have to be wary of that. Not just the leafy green sprays, not that just the things that they spray on the leafy green, but there are some foods that have sulfide in them, and there are even some things that you may be buying at the supermarket that contain sulfide. So you have to be careful about those. And in general, maybe commit yourself to a period of time when you're going to just focus on health. Just focus on health and wellness, and say, okay, I'm going to give myself 6 months to just work on me. I'm going to give myself a year to just work on me, and commit to that, and just try your best. And if you fall down, you get yourself up and you get on your program again. But create a program for yourself and work, continue to work at improving your health. Well, I hope you found this useful. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Be the change you'd like to see in this world. Have a fantabulous day today. Ta-ta.